had a friend tell me, and also it's something that I heard many times. They said, I've been meditating, and again some like bullshit came to my mind, and I was trying to go deep into myself. And in the meditation, the mind keeps blabbering random shit, and then I'm distracted, and it doesn't work. And I said, well, what do you mean? The thoughts distracted you? And he's like, yes, I was trying to go deep, but the thoughts said like, stop. And it stopped me, and I'm like, okay, but isn't that a thought also? And he's like, what do you mean? And I said, well, the thought that you have been stopped. The thoughts stopping you, isn't that a conviction also? Just another thought? And he went, huh? Haha. And he giggled. And it's something that I heard many times and people don't get it. Because there is the concept of I meditate to run away from my mind. It is a good start, but it is not the ultimate goal of meditation. It can be a nice motivation because your mind beats you up and then you try to do something about it with meditation, and that's okay. That works. We see that a lot, and that's why it becomes popular to people who really struggle and suffer with their own thinking. But there is a point at which it doesn't matter what you're thinking about, really. And funnily enough, as soon as that happens, when it doesn't matter what thoughts come up, that is the point at which the maturity starts to take place. Because the only reason why the thoughts are there and they seem intrusive or annoying is because of that conviction which I mentioned to this person. Once any thought starts coming up and it no longer matters, it will quickly give up, and then there will be more and more amount of time without the thought. But you no longer care, or you no longer really feel bothered if there is a thought, if there is not a thought. If a thought comes up, that's what is coming up. And it's not like, oh, the thought came up, and that equals a wrong meditation. Because I'm doing this to really go deep into myself, and I cannot go deep into myself if I'm having thoughts about what I'm gonna do tomorrow or blah blah blah. When those thoughts are seen as intrusive, they will do so. They will be intrusive and annoying, and they will feel like they're stopping you from something. Once that these thoughts happen to be something that is just another appearance on the consciousness, and it's just another thing to watch. What are you watching? Oh, I'm watching my breath, and and I'm trying to calm the mind by watching the breath. But then the mind comes in, and I'm like, okay, watch the mind, the same as the breath. But the meaning has a certain pull and different kind of distractions. And those are okay. Then watch distraction. Notice being distracted. And as soon as there is noticing, and as soon as you watch it, then it becomes conscious. The reason why it's unconscious is because there is a rejection of it. So then you don't want to look that way. If you're rejecting something, you will not look that way. And if you are not looking that way, we call that unconsciousness. Or subconsciously something happening. If we come to a point of full inclusiveness and acceptance of, okay, everything that comes up, I am willing to look at, and I open my heart to it, but it doesn't necessarily have to be in thought. You don't have to say this to yourself. You can just feel through it. It can be a willingness, a trust, and let go of any judgment. Oh, this is good, I accept. This is bad, I reject. This is good because it helps my spiritual growth or my improvement, I accept. This is bad because that is the dark side of my psyche, and that stops me from going deeper, whatever. Reject. Well, then you're gonna keep fighting it. Even though it's nothing, it doesn't mean anything. It is subjective and you give it meaning. So then, funnily enough, this person could have said, I was really trying to go deep into myself. And if they are saying myself, they mean their person. So then the person was the one who was coming up with all the ideas. Yeah, tomorrow I'll go do this, and maybe I need to do that at work, blah, blah, blah. Then he can go deep into that and see what importance is given there and what is it that is talking there. And then they could go deep into themselves. But there is a separation, me and my mind. Me is the one who is really trying to go into himself, this spiritual good boy, good woman, whatever. And then there is the mind, the one, the bad one, the Satan, the devil of all devils trying to stop me from my liberation. There's just one. So there is this little separation that can happen out of spiritual practices. And it can be stopped by accepting everything that comes up as ourselves. That doesn't mean that you will act a certain way, because who's gonna act it out in that? You let the body act it out. You let this self, your person, act out however they deem necessary in the moment. But it is always those decisions and those ideas and what needs to be done, or even the mischievous things and even the noble things or whatever it is, they seem to appear different and more spontaneous, refined, and authentic if they are out of relaxation and out of knowing what you are, or rather what you are not. That's a better way to say it, what you are not. And then the game is played completely different than when it's out of conditioning. Because either it is out of spontaneity or out of conditioning. And sometimes those two intertwine and they play interestingly. By spontaneity, I mean out of the beingness, out of presence. Things and decisions and actions just come up. But who's doing them? It's always the body. And if there is a different function in person or personality from the beingness, and then from the conditioning. So when it comes to meditation, don't meditate to calm your mind. Calm your mind by allowing it to be how it is. But by being conscious of it, not just like, okay, I give up, let me think about grocery shopping tomorrow and just be in it. You can watch that too, but it is about the identity. It is about being present and not locked into it. You watch the screen, but you don't log in. Until there's a point where there's no one watching the screen. There's just awareness. There is just that which is.